Do you see?
What to say is the lighting good? I'm all like, ooh, we're live.
Hold on, flex your titties a little bit, boy. Ooh.
No,
Where's the
they're
hot
awesome. I mean,
But hang
guys-
on,
do
but
you guys
I
hear me good?
apologize. Just for future when if I have to edit this, I just want to get sound check. So, Danny, go ahead.
Actually, apparently I'm not even. How does that sound? Do I sound good?
This motherfucker.
I'm boxy.
I sound boxy. Why do I?
Box, yeah.
We
It
gotta
actually do
soundproof
sound
your room.
boxy. It's like
You gotta
there's
come
an
over and
echo, but
soundproof
not.
your room. You can do that for $12 on Amazon.
The what? Which what? What?
Between $12 and $20, we can sound treat your room, Danny.
Wait, how
I
would you
think I
do
would
that?
like
I'm
that.
really interested.
But Danny's always had an echo in his room. His room's very empty.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, the only thing I have is literally the shelf behind me. Well, there's two
Nice.
shelves, but I have to fill up like over here and
What
maybe
you
something
have
with
is
a
good-
door.
What you have is good diffusion.
Packed.
Yeah.
What you have is good diffusion. What you don't have is on absorption.
I'm gonna have to turn up the volume on Wolves here. All right, Wolves. Let me
There
My
we
hear.
volume
go.
low? People say my volume's
No,
low.
it's not
That's-
low. It's just on Discord. My volume levels are different for each person, so we're all on
Okay.
the same level. All right, Josh is good. PT's good. Wolves. Let me hear what you got.
Hello.
Oh, beautiful.
Hello.
My name is Jeff.
My
My
name is
name's
Jeff.
Dave.
You know, I know I went on a Channing Tatum rant once. Like it was probably gay, but yo, the dude is a solid man. I like him. He's a good actor. He's hilarious. They need to give him more roles. But anyways,
Okay.
Sure.
he's not. He's on the eyes.
kind of been, I feel like he's been a little MIAs for the past little bit.
Oh, I think that's because
Like,
he's,
He's doing his own thing.
So
I-
having
He's doing his own
Tatum,
thing.
yeah,
Magic
I
Mike
guess.
3,
yeah.
where it's
Yeah,
going to
that's-
be magic.
I feel like when I don't hear about a celebrity, I'm like, ooh, that's probably a good actor now.
Magic Mike 3. Do you believe in magic?
Oh, I'm Magic Mike 3. Oh my god.
There is gonna be one, no?
Where is that from? Where the hell is that whole song? Do you
For
believe
me,
in
as
magic?
far as the male actor goes.
Right?
Is that Marineland?
I mean, let's talk about Pedro here. I mean,
Believe in magic.
what do you guys think of him?
Hey,
What do I think of Monsieur Pedro Pascal?
Yeah,
I find he's doing an okay job in the role, but I don't know. I'd like to see him, get a little bit more action out of what he's going with. But for the most part, I think he's doing okay with the serious the talking scenes, like whenever they have some kind of dialogue.
when you say action,
But I
what do you
do
mean, like you
find-
want to see him fight more?
Yeah, because it's basically a bit like
I want to see him
he
flip.
finally gets into some kind of action this episode, and within the first 5 seconds, he gets stabbed. And you're like,
That was action? Okay, no, I'm gonna put my shit in the dryer. I'll be back. Fuck this. I'm not getting mad now. Goodbye. I'll be back.
that's what I mean. He's like that's the extent of the action that seems to happen. Or
Yeah.
even the last episode where he's like sniping people left and right. I was like, oh, cool, he's sniping people. But where's I'm still not quite satisfied with the level of action this series has. I get it's supposed to be a little bit more story driven and it's cool, but I feel like they're kind of skimming
I know,
over a lot of stuff.
this was being directed by Disney. I find.
No,
It doesn't
I guess you
feel
could
like
say that.
HBO.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Like HBO, I thought we're gonna see gore, blood, scary, and in depth. Like, look, I mean, allow me to refer to my notes here.
He
I mean, I came prepared because I didn't even watch the other episodes. I don't know how you guys do these things. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write some notes because these guys seem, they're already under what, 5th episode, 6th episode?
We're on the 6th episode now.
Okay. So Danny gave me this game back in the day. So I don't know anything about the second game at all. I only know the
Alright.
first game. And I remember Daniel had given it to me, and I played this game. And the first scene when his daughter dies, I literally cried, turned off the game, and didn't touch it for 2 weeks. Granted, I was going through a dark period in my life at that point, so this game from that moment had me hooked.
Oh yeah, you're going through a dark moment in
And-
life. You want to play The Last of Us.
Yeah,
There you go.
I didn't know. I'm like The
Let
Last
it go
of
in
Us.
life.
Okay, whatever. The Last of Us. I thought some guy lost his puppy, and it's like some.
He John
Make your
Wick's it after. Yeah.
And that was it. And then when
It's
I
the prequel
finished
to
this
Stray.
game, I was so into it. When I finished this game, I think I played it like 10 times. I would finish the game and I would just play it again.
Mhm.
And that's rare for me.
Mm.
Like I have a hard time. I mean, yes and no, depending on how you look at certain things. I'm a big retro player, and at that point, I think my buddy had lent me his PS3 at the time because I wasn't gonna buy one because I was still on the old school. I still have my old Sega Master System, and when it and I just bought a HDMI adapter for the Nintendo Wii so I could play my old GameCube games, and I just spent $80 for a year membership on Nintendo Switch just so I could play 007 GoldenEye.
God.
Like that's how stupid I am. That's the games I like to play. Like I have all these games that I bought on Nintendo Switch, but I just play Rocket League, and that's the game that I got for free. Like,
Exactly.
it kills me. Like I don't finish games. I can't anymore. I don't know if it's my age. Anyways, whatever. The Last of Us. So I really enjoyed this game, and I played it over and over again on every difficulty, back and forth. Found all the tricks. So when they said HBO was going to come out, I was like, okay, whatever. Who are they going to use? Pedro Pascal. All right. His accent came out. I'm like, perfect. He sounds like a Texan. He's doing a really good job sounding like a Texan, I think. Oh man, my vape. Damn it, Danny. Okay.
That's right. Get your
So-
vape action going on here.
Yeah, it's my stepdaughter's vape action. I don't vape. I just vape when the kids are around because I'm cool like that.
He fits in.
So it's like
Oh my god!
it comes in. He comes in. He's talking Ellie, whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. I'm enjoying the first episode because I'm expecting it to be slow, and I'm like, wow, they did a really good job because you're just taking everything in. Second episode, fine. I'm like, here's action, and I'm telling Jen, my wife, and my stepdaughter, oh wait. You're gonna love what's gonna happen next. Wait. Oh, this is where it happens. And every other episode, it's like, oh, this is where it's gonna happen, and it's like, I'm enjoying it because I enjoy the story, and I love these little sidetrack things they did, especially with Bill. I love what they did with Bill. I thought that was a perfect one-time episode. I'd be more happy if that was just once, and another episode would be all action all the time, and then you get a Bill episode where it's just slow and you explain the character. Only because I played the game so much that I enjoy and I want to know more about that backstory. I like that we know more about Marlene. I like that we know more about those people in that little excursion he gets when he's on the highway and I'm on the other side of it. I knew it was a trap, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's so good. But it's like, okay, the game is about action too. You're missing the action. My wife and my stepdaughter are looking at me like, is this gonna pick up anytime soon? I'm like, the story is good, but I can't tell if someone never watching this before would enjoy that story because it's just a story at this point. But everything looks good. The graphics look good. The special effects look good. And last episode, I'm like, okay, fine. The way they twist things, I was a little disappointed because that should have been a huge fight scene. They had so much potential to make that a fight scene and make it so they could have made him fall off just a second story, just like he did. They didn't have to. I find like certain parts they're really rushing it. They're really rushing they got to get to this point to this point. Maybe we have something bigger coming. Maybe they're like, let's get the video game out of the way so we can start a proper series. It's like 50-50 for me. I'm enjoying watching it because I enjoy the video game and I like all the backstories, how they explain a lot more things. Great. But if I was a new guy off the street watching this, I'd be like, there's no point to this. I don't care. It's boring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I keep on waiting for that action. I think we're all in the same boat where it's like there could be so much more, even if it's just 30 minutes of the hour, 45 minutes. What is it? 50 minutes?
It depends. Some episodes is 45 minutes. Some episodes is an hour and 10 minutes. Some episodes is 50 minutes.
Well, that's it. You would think they would allocate at least 40% to just action and killing and running away and how are you going to get out of this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I was saying with the whole Bill episode. Like the Bill episode was nice. I liked how they did some of the stuff. They probably could have shortened that down a little bit, bring some more, a little bit more action or intensity. Because like I told Waz and Josh when you saw that thing and they hinted towards, oh, your fence. There's something that could happen with your fence. You should probably take care of it.
Yeah,
that could have been like a great scene where there's raiders or there's zombies that could have rushed into there. They could have had like some kind of last stand, and then Bill and Frank would be like, "Hey, we're gonna, stay behind to let you guys get out of there." Because they sort of had something like that in the game where Bill helps out Joel and Ellie fight off a whole bunch of infected, so he can get the truck and he can get out of there. So they could have still kept the whole thing where Bill and Frank die, but it could have been for a bigger cause than just like they lived happily ever after to the end. Like I liked it, but it could have just been so much more. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Every episode could have been not so much more. They just could have just insert action here.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
like I'm glad you're embellishing in the story, but like one episode could be turned into two because it's all action. It's like I don't know where you're trying to go with this HBO. Like, are you just trying to get us interested, the true diehard fans, so we watch it and we tell other people, hey, you got to watch this show? I don't know. It's like I'm gonna watch it religiously for sure, just
Yeah.
because I enjoyed the game. I don't
Yeah.
care. You know, the same way I watched Warcraft the movie. Same way, you know, I'm gonna watch Halo.
But
Hey, did you guys ever see
But
it?
the
I
what
saw
the Halo
Halo.
show? I haven't seen it, but I heard it's
Is it a
they
show or
basically
is it
did
a movie? It's a movie, no?
No, it's a
not the
TV show
show.
on Paramount.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
they
Paramount,
basically were like, hey, we're gonna bring you your favorite character, Master Chief, and then we're gonna sideline him for somebody else.
Yeah.
What?
But
Oh, they came up with a Halo TV series. Like, here you go. Here's Master Chief, but we're gonna put him over here so we can deal with this other character, this new character we want to introduce. So forget
Oh,
everything about
right.
Halo and Master Chief and all the stuff you like. This is what we're doing.
No,
Yeah,
that's pretty
that's-
accurate. Yeah, I don't recall playing as Master Chief in Halo.
Yeah, exactly. Why would
Yeah.
who'd you play as?
Who's Master
Oh,
Chief?
it's
That
inside.
guy.
But
Pretty much.
it's funny that you're saying that the lack of action. But me, from episode 1 of The Last of Us, from the first scene that was supposed to be violent, and they didn't take that route at all. They didn't even capitalize on it. It kind of set the tone for me. I wasn't expecting a violent show at all. In the opening scene when Joel is with Sarah and he comes home. Well, Sarah's walking around the house. She's looking for her father, and then in the game, the infected shows up. He pulls out a gun, blasts him in the head, and she sees her neighbor die in front of her. You know, in the TV show, we got her walking into the neighbor's house, seeing her suck her neck with tendrils or whatever the fuck it is,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
she runs out, and Joel and Tommy
Joel-
pick her up in the truck and they drive off.
Well, no,
Yeah.
Joel cracks the zombie in the head with a baseball bat. Then
Mhm.
he gets up, and then what's it? Tommy shoots him,
Mhm.
shoots the zombie. So I was like, still a little bit hopeful. Like I thought that at that point, it's like okay, they did a little something different just for sake of things, but cool.
No, but the
There's
reason
some-
the
there's
reason
some
why that
up-
scene hit so hard in the game was because she, like in the TV show, they establish a relationship with that character, right? You like she knows it's her neighbor and she spends time with them, and then when she died, it just felt like it wasn't addressed. It's just like, oh my god, he cracked her in the head with a baseball bat, you know. Whereas in the game, they actually took a second where Sarah is crying and looking at Joel. She's like, you shot him," and then she says like how we saw him this morning and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And I just feel like I didn't get that emotion from the TV show, like the consequence of the violence, which is what heightens the action. You know,
Yeah.
in my opinion, and
No, I would agree with that.
and a funny thing that because I don't want us to turn to The Walking Dead, you know, where it's just senseless violence, and it gets to a point where I don't give a shit about the violence anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I guess they can't constantly have them running away from zombies, or maybe it was hard to come up with a scene. But like, they're zombies. They're gonna like when we saw that bloater in his sniper scene. I'm like, finally they showed the bloater. Like, where's the boss scene? He's walking in looking for the battery, and you have the old gym, and then for the first time the bloater. How you get like even little nuggets of that? Like every scene should be a MacGyver. How am I gonna get out of this situation? Like that's easy to come up with. That's easy to write. You can literally look at all the old MacGyver scenes and just recreate them. Nobody would know. Nobody of this generation would know. So you could do that, but he's not solving any problems. He's just going through life.
Well, there's
So
one
I don't-
scene that comes to mind that everyone stands out and everyone praises nonstop: the clicker scene. Everyone
Yeah.
loved the clicker scene, and the clicker scene was really well shot. It was intense. It wasn't necessarily action, but it was intense. And on top of that, they didn't hold back. It was like, when I say they didn't hold back. The clicker was fucking gross to look at. You know, it wasn't
Amazing. Yeah.
it was fantastic makeup work. So I think to me the show, apart from episode 3, which was the entire Bill and Frank episode, which I agree was a good episode, it was a little too much of that, and we derived a little too much from the story I wanted to see. I think the show has, I wouldn't say enough action, but a good amount of it. It's just that the action has no consequence to it, and there's no tension in the action. The action's boring. That's the problem. I don't want
Yeah.
more boring action. I want the action to mean something. I think that's the issue for me.
Maybe
I
they
agree
thought-
with that.
Maybe they thought that like, well, the true fans know that they don't die because they're the main characters, so let's not focus too much on the action because there's no point of giving you action because there's no suspense because you know he's going to survive.
Well, I could
I
agree
mean-
and disagree with that logic because that's
Yeah.
like saying looking at any movie really and going, shouldn't he have died? Oh, but he's not gonna because plot armor. Like,
Yeah, but we don't know that since what's his name?
like there's very few movies that actually kill off the main character like that and then switches to a different character.
No, of
But
course.
most movies are not like that, so
But
I
look
wouldn't
at
really
Game of
expect it
Thrones.
like this.
Look at
But
the
like,
TV series- but look at the
good
TV
writing
series
would
Game of
change
Thrones.
that.
Yeah.
Like Wazim was saying with the action, like good suspense, like good build up would make you go, oh fuck, are they gonna kill this character? No, obviously not. Blah blah blah. But you want to see what's gonna happen. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know.
I'd say
Especially like,
Do a Game of Thrones approach. Make you
Yeah.
fall in love with the character and then kill them. You can't do that with
Oh.
Last of Us because the story's already
Yeah.
written.
oh Ned.
no, but
Wasn't Game of Thrones already written?
Yeah, yeah.
See, I never read the
But
books.
Okay.
I'm not a. I don't do that.
Song of Ice
No, but
and,
it can
Ice and
kind
Fire.
of take it
and
in
all
the
that?
same respect because like I feel like in a video game world you have the time to tell a long-winded story because any story-driven game is minimum going to be let's see, 20 hours, 40
Mhm.
hours.
Mhm.
I just finally finished God of War. Well, we'll go over that at one point. There was.
Yeah.
But that's a long ass game. It's a very heavy story driven game. But if they do a series on it, like unless they plan on doing like a good couple seasons, they're gonna have to cram certain things in there. You know what I mean?
I don't find The Last of Us is. I don't think they're cramming anything. I think because we already know the story. Again, only for the first game. I have no idea what's happening in the second video game. Like I'm watching it and I'm going, like, wow, okay, I really like what they did here. There's nothing that I said, I don't like what they did there. The only thing I didn't like was the last episode where that's how they made him get hurt because he got into a kerfuffle. Like they could have made it so much better. And like
Yeah.
the guy came with him at a bat and he didn't feel the bat stab him and he's like, oh no, you're hurt. And even Ellie at that point was like in the video game, she's like, get your ass up, let's go. Like, you know, I need you. And now they're really like, okay, I really need you. And I like that little scene that they had before, like I can't, I'm old, and you really see Joel crying, like he goes, I can't do this, I'm getting too old and whatever. And at first I'm like, why is Joel crying? This doesn't make sense. But it's like, no, it does make sense because he's actually a human, and you don't get to see that in the game. In the game, you just see little snippets of them having a little joke, and you're supposed to understand that they're getting starting a
Joel was
relationship.
also speaking a little bit more of a rougher, like grittier character from the game compared to the
Oh,
show.
big time. He was
Oh
like,
yeah, no,
yeah.
he's way grittier in the game.
Yeah.
But like, I find my problem with the show is that I do think that they're cramming it a little too fast, and I do think that they're suffering from a pace issue. Like, I feel like some scenes could have been extended, whereas some scenes could have just not been there. Like, okay, for example, the newest episode, because I went to do my laundry, but like for the newest episode, like there were some parts of it I thought like, okay, yeah, Joel crying all of a sudden. I'm like, okay, I understand why he's crying, but I find the build up to lead up to it kind of not really as impactful to me, at least. Or like how he was having panic attacks and everything. But you're like, okay, at first I thought he was just having a heart attack. And then later on, it's like, oh yeah, it was. This is why I was doing it. But like, there wasn't really a good lead up, in my opinion, to that point. Like, it happened, and I found myself not really caring about it. And then they don't really address it like 2 seconds later. And then it's just because he feels strongly about leaving her here because he feels old. Like,
it's because he's done.
while
He's
I'm
done.
sure
He's
there's
finished.
indications, but I don't feel like there were good enough indications. Like I just personally think like they have a pacing issue.
But they only really mentioned it in what, like the second episode of the first one, where he basically he pummels the shit out of that one guard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's basically, at least
yeah, it's like that
my own
battle
recollection.
PTSD.
Yeah,
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 that was
yeah.
good.
Well,
Like
one of
that's
the
showing character, like he's still dealing with the death of his daughter, which makes sense. Like he's gonna always carry that for the rest of his life. And here's Ellie. He's forced into the situation where he's like, it's just a job, fine. And the one person he was doing the job for was Tess, the last person on Earth of his family, because he can't find his brother, because God knows if his brother is dead. And then he finds his brother, and it's like he's just everything just explodes. He's like, I'm done. Like, Tommy, you take care of it. He's basically passing his load, his stress onto his brother, saying, you're alive, you're safe, I enjoy this town. I really enjoyed what they did with the town, by the way. That, you know, I guess they changed it because when you're in the game, whatever, you see him building
Well,
the
that-
town.
it's a
and now
copy
they already
paste.
established-
It's a copy paste of the
Because you
town in the
haven't
second game.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They basically set you up for the second game.
That's
Okay,
that's
good.
what that town looks like in the second game.
Okay.
Okay, so
Well,
they are
good.
mixing both.
Yeah.
They are mixing both. That's fine. So it's like, okay, fine. He like at a writing aspect, whatever, everything to me makes sense. This is my opinion again. Everything makes sense. I'm just like, am I expecting too much? Am I on the hopes now because they seem to be going with this flow and this is how they're pumping them out? And it's like, okay, well maybe they have to get this out of the way because they're like, okay, now we're gonna hit you with the stuff that you don't know. Let's give the fans something you don't know because it's not a limited series. It would have said limited series. It's a series.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we don't
right
know.
now
Is
it's
there anything on
right,
the line?
right now I
Is
feel.
there 3 seasons? Is there 2 seasons? Is there 5 seasons?
Well, I wouldn't really know how they would do another like the way that they're going. It looks they're kind of following the game pretty heavy-handedly. And right now we're about to get to the whole winter, like the actual winter season part of the game.
Yeah, like
And
I'm
there's only
always
3
scared of
episodes.
that part.
There's 3 episodes left. And did you play the DLC for the first Last of Us game?
The Ellie's part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe so. You have to remind me. That's how much I love the
It's
game. I
made-
love the game so much I don't remember.
it's the one where it basically tells her story about how she found out she was that she was immune, that she's lesbian, and what's it? Just another little in between area between like when Joel
Is that something to do
recovers.
with the mall? I'm thinking.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Then I must have played it because I remember not having the subscription, so I couldn't download the actual content. I think I might have watched it online.
Because right now it seems like because if you look at the names of the episode, the next episode that's supposed to be coming is called Left Behind, which is basically what the DLC what that DLC is. Which that's cool. I wouldn't mind seeing how they're gonna bring that about. But it seems like okay, they have that episode they're gonna deal with, then they have the whole episode afterwards. And spoilers for everyone that's here right now. It's probably gonna be the one where there's the creepy dude that chases Ellie around. So unless they cram that all into episode 7, which I find they'd be doing too much, like how are they going to finish it off with only 2 more episodes?
I'm calling it right now.
After
They're gonna
that.
cram it into 7.
Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me, which I would be a little disappointed if they cram
Why
too
you think
much.
there's
in
only
it.
10?
There's
There's only 10 episodes? Did they say there's only 10 episodes?
there's only 9.
9. This
Okay.
season's
So
9.
There's
this is how
episode
much-
7,
how
8,
much
and
I
9.
pay attention.
So like right now they have a lot more. There's a lot more left for where the game is, and they're gonna be cramming it into these last 3 episodes plus the DLC content. And I'm fine with that if they try and do some more stuff in the next season. But then after, where can they go next season? Because they can't really drag out this whole thing because then it's the end of the game for the first game, but they're gonna drag it on for another season. I doubt that.
If you
That
wanted
means they're
to,
probably gonna.
if you
But
wanted
they
to
have
create a
to do
sense
it
of
somewhere.
urgency,
It's not a limited series.
No. I know they're
I
gonna
don't
do it. I know they're gonna. Hopefully, they'll do another season. And if they do, it would probably be of the second game. But that's how I see them doing it. I feel like
I'm
this
hoping
season's
they
gonna be the
don't.
first one. I know, but where would they go after this? There's a lot more to tell, but at the same time, there's too little of the episodes that are left for them
Why,
to tell.
hold on a minute. Does Joel die
What do
Wait.
you mean?
What?
in the second game? Does Joel die? I'm asking. You can spoil it for me. The second game has been out. Does Joel die in the second game? Is he dead?
I will tell you yes, but I won't tell you how because I'd rather you see exactly what happens.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair enough. So he's dead. So that's okay. So that's why you're saying you can't continue the series. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So maybe it's in between. That's
That's what I mean. Like it's.
unless they change the canon.
But even even regardless, the fact that he dies or not, that what takes place a year. Oh, between how many years is it between the first and the second game?
I don't
Do either
know,
of
but
you remember?
there is a gap there, and I think that gap between the first and the second game, because when you finish the game, Ellie's still a child, and you go back to Jacksonville with her, and when the
She's
second,
more of a teen.
well, yeah, 14 or whatever,
Yeah.
and when the second game picks up, she's already an adult. She's smoking weed, sucking face with people, all kinds of crap. She's actually
we're
doing.
saying early 20s.
Oh, I guess.
No, actually,
She's at least
14 to
18.
19. Let's say 14 to 19. 5 years. We got 5 years.
Yeah, 5
of
years at least.
of
And
Uncharted.
I would say that gap that's not shown in any game. That's where they can potentially explore what they're going to go through in Jacksonville and why Ellie and Joel's relationship deteriorated.
Apparently, she's 19 in The Last of Us 2.
So it's 5 years.
That's an easy Google search.
Yeah.
So it's 5
I
years.
just assumed because from the I remember seeing the trailers and whatever.
Yeah,
and
it's
some of the
5.
gameplay, I'm like, she doesn't look. Maybe are they trying to portray a 20-year-old? Because they're not portraying a 30-year-old. That's for sure.
No, yeah, she's 14 in the first Last of Us, and then so yeah, it's 5 years.
So it's 5 years, and I think that gap is what they can explore in the next season if they want to do something that's not related to the game. Like, okay, we're gonna hit you with a bunch of shit that you've never seen or heard about now. That, like I said, would explain why her and Joel aren't speaking by the start of the first game. You know, the second game. Sorry.
No, I can see them doing that in the second season for sure. My whole thing is like I feel like if they cut whatever they're going to cut short in this season, like if they put whatever's left of the game into the second season, I feel like it's gonna kind of spoil. And I don't mean like spoilers. I mean it's going to spoil everything that's been leading up to what's been going on from like the game standpoint. You know what I mean? I feel like the whole like everything that leads up to the end of the first game, all of that, then they throw it right in the middle of the second season.
Mhm.
I feel like it's gonna kind of ruin it, like what Josh was saying. It's gonna ruin the whole pace of everything that's going on. It's gonna
Or-
be very very
or-
poorly paced.
They don't care. They made a deal with Ubisoft or whoever has the story rights.
Naughty
Is that
Dog.
let's just cash grab this, just like
Yeah,
they did with
which-
Uncharted. They could have done so much more with Uncharted.
Oh,
I mean, I enjoyed the
Uncharted
movie.
is such a disappointment.
Yeah.
Such a disappointment. How the fuck is Mark Wahlberg Sully? That makes no goddamn sense.
No shit.
Jesus.
He's
It's
the
a-
perfect
It's,
Sully.
it's the same reason why Pedro Pascal is Joel.
What's his?
Mark
I don't know
Wahlberg
the
is not a
guy's
diversity
name.
hire.
Who's gonna watch?
You know
who's
who
gonna
would
watch
potentially have played a good Sully? I just thought. I don't know if you all agree with me.
the actual
But the guy
actor,
What?
the actual voice actor, who's an actor. He could have played Sully.
Why does he look exactly like Sully?
No, he's kind of
He's bald, actually.
and he's
Bald.
overweight.
No. So, like I don't know if he would have. Like I said, okay, yeah. So that wouldn't work. You know what I thought might have been half decent. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but what the guy's name from the guy who played Alfred from the Christian Bale Batman movies?
Michael Caine.
Oh, Michael Caine.
Yeah, him, maybe. I feel look wise would have been good, but the English accent might have thrown it off a little.
We
bit.
need more of a rough guy. Maybe like
Well, I'm gonna look up to see what this
I
guy
would
looks like.
I would have picked a dude. He passed away now, unfortunately. But I would have picked a dude who played General Ross Thunderbolt in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
He passed?
I think he passed. Yeah.
Oh,
No.
that. Oh, yeah. No, he would have been good actually.
Oh,
no,
he
wait,
passed?
Yeah, I think he passed.
Oh, is
away.
that why they recasted him?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait.
damn.
Thunderbolt?
Yeah, General
Like Ross?
Thunderbolt.
Like Red Hulk?
Yeah, from Hulk and.
The what's it? The
Iron
Hulk
Man.
with not Christopher Nolan. Whatever is it? Edward Norton.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was the same guy. I'm gonna have to look it up.
No, it is the
So-
same guy, but in the newest movies, they recasted him because I believe the actor passed away.
No way.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Um,
Yeah, because he made a great Thunderbolt, Ross.
Anyways,
Like
here-
I was really looking forward. I was really hoping they would actually go forth with like the Red Hulk, because like he's Red Hulk.
Kidding.
So
Mhm.
I thought it would be dope as hell to see him as Red Hulk. But yeah,
But yeah, so and one of the things I wanted to mention about the Last of Us thing is that the reason why I'm so critical about the show is that because it's for me it's very easy to compare what I'm seeing in the TV show to the game
Right.
because some of it is shot for shot,
Yeah.
for shot and line for line, and like the scene where in
Which
episodes
is beautiful.
in the last
And
episode,
moving like the Easter eggs.
yeah. And well, like for instance, the scene where Ellie was confronting Joel because Joel's about to leave her in Jacksonville and he didn't want to be with her and all that kind of crap. I pulled up a video that compared them shot for shot, and honestly, both well acted, both good scenes, you know, but it hits so much harder in the game from the voice actors, and I don't know if that's because a voice actor has to put so much more oomph in their voice because you can't see what
Yeah.
they're doing, or if it's
Totally.
because the lines were just like. The people in the project involved with the game just cared more. I don't know, you know, and Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey are doing their best, but they're kind of phoning it in because to me the only good acting I've seen from Bella Ramsey as Ellie is the scene where Henry took his own life. I bought that when she saw him shoot himself. I bought that.
Yeah.
She was like, "Holy shit," you know. I bought that, but everything else, like I've said before, I feel like Bella Ramsey is like just going through the motions, reading her lines, and that's it. And
I can definitely agree with you on this one. Yeah.
I mean, she's
Yeah.
a good shit disturber. We're having a good time. Again, from the
I
side
feel like
of,
she's.
side of
she's
no,
sorry,
sorry,
go ahead.
the
No,
side of
just-
my wife and my daughter, not stepdaughter, not seeing or playing The Last of Us, or just seeing me play bits of it back in the day. they're laughing at her parts because they're like, oh, this girl's funny, she's witty, she's a bit of a shit disturber.
Which is Ellie.
So exactly, which is fine because I find that part you see a lot more, right? I find that she's stronger in that her character trait of that in the TV show than she was in the game. In the game, she was light, like very naive. Still, she's naive now, but she's more like she's got balls, which is good.
No, I
Now,
definitely.
again, why didn't they choose the same voice actor? Because she's also an actor. I believe it's the same character who played. I know this is a weird movie to remember her with, but with Mel Gibson in.
What women
she
want.
was the daughter
What women
for,
want or what women think?
Yeah,
or...
what women want.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
I think that was her, and it's like both actresses have. Don't shoot me for this. Have weird foreheads, so I don't know why one over the other. Is it because Bella played in Game of Thrones?
No, but the chick, her name is Ashley Johnson, the one who played Ellie in the video game, the voice actress, and I think isn't she like 30?
She is.
Oh, is she now 30? Is that why?
Yeah, she's not gonna look 14 anymore.
That's right. Well, women want. I think I was what, like in my teens.
As you guys are talking about this, I'm actually looking at the trailer of the next the next episode because I was going to look at the.
Oh, I didn't look at it
yet. Do you want me to tell you anything, or you want to just find out
sure.
yourselves?
Well, hang on.
Okay,
Let's finish discussing the show first, then we'll talk about it real quick.
Okay.
So
I'll cut you off. You were saying. I'm sorry.
So what I was saying about the episode is that you can compare it shot for shot, and that specific scene, I felt like it hit harder in the game, and more importantly, which is something that's happening often in the show, I feel like they're missing the message. Like the message that I got from that episode 6, is that Joel's getting old, tired, and worried that he can't do this. You know, that he's gonna fail this person. The message that I got in the game was, I don't want to fail this girl because I failed my daughter. It wasn't because he was old and tired. And I feel like they really missed that on that message. Ananas Bananas says, I disagree with you on that one. The scene that you talked about, I felt like Bella Ramsey's delivery was better than in-game. Yeah, but I don't know, you enjoy Riverdale, so yeah, that's your...
We kind of skimmed over it, but like Ananas Bananas said before, this was early on when I was talking about the whole action. He said, really, the lack of action again? Leave my beautiful and nice story alone and go watch Rambo and some shit.
Beautiful, nice story.
It's like
like if it was a beautiful, nice story, I would have agreed with you. But the story is so fucking mediocre. It's mediocre. I've played the game. It makes me mad. No, it's so fucking mediocre. It's just like, oh, I'm old. I'm too old. I want to go with you, Joel. Really? There was no build up to it. I need a cam because I'm flailing.
All the more reason to buy it.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to disagree on both of you with that one. I don't know.
You think that the message was delivered the same?
The meaning of that scene. You have to look at it as a TV standpoint, right? At a certain point, it's not about the video game anymore. And Joel, I think I had said it before, like, I'm believing it. He's hurt, and the thing is, like, he got hurt. He's taping up his boots. He's getting older. He can't deal with this anymore. He doesn't want to deal with it. He lost Tess. He lost everything. He's like, listen, I'm getting old. He's blaming his brother. Like, you're a lot younger than me. You can do this. I know you can do it. Help me fulfill my promise to Tess, the last person I actually care about. And I found my brother. He's done. He found his brother. This is what didn't happen in the video. Well, it did happen in the video game, but I guess because of the town and everything, it's a little different. But he's like, listen, you're part of the Fireflies. You can still do this, or you were. You know what my mission is. Take her and go. And Ellie's like, I don't trust anybody else. And that was the thing. Like, why are you gonna dump me? Marlene was the only person I trusted. I knew her for not even a year, whoever she was. And now, we don't even know if she's dead. Tess, she connected with, she died. And now Joel's going to pawn her off again. Of course, Ellie's going to be like, anybody would be like, why are you pawning me off? It's not like, oh yeah, thanks a lot. Like, I could care less about you. She's already developed that relationship with him. She's not telling him jokes, asking him questions about life. She needs a father figure. That's what it is. Maybe we don't understand that because, unless Josh, unless you had a kid and I don't know about it. None of us have kids yet. And I think that's... that's something that we're missing too. We see it in the TV shows and everything and all that world and blah 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 in real life. This kid, this 14-year-old needs a role model regardless of where you are. It's still Earth. We're not talking about an alien species. We're talking about Earth. She needs a role model. Her role model just said, I'm too old. See you later.
Right.
And I
The
feel
whole world is like, what are you,
I do
mental?
agree with you on the father figure, but I feel like the father figure is kind of less impactful when she's already like being a boss bitch the entire time. As opposed to in the game, she had that whole, well, like
You think you think Ellie's being a boss bitch?
I just use it for the sake of using it. I feel like Ellie right now is representing more Ellie from the second game than this one.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. Like Ellie, like, not to say anything bad about the second game, but Ellie in the second game, she was more rough. She was more grittier. Like she was sort of like Joel as when he got to that when he was like a lot older. Whereas in the game, she was a little bit more softer. She like, and she had that she had that more innocent side to her. And Joel kind of rekindled that because it's like, hey, this is what it was like to have a kid, and like to see that kind of innocence and to kind of slowly bring him out of his whole grittier ways. So like there was some nice
to give her a gun, right?
What's that?
In the game, it took him a lot longer not to give her a gun.
More or less,
I think so. I think so.
You know, she got a gun really quick, and I'm like that. As a gun owner myself, I find that that's a little. I mean, I guess you know you're in post-apocalyptic world, whatever, but there should have been more time taken with that. And the safety he showed her was just ridiculous. Hollywood again. I'm like, oh my god, like
So-
you could like show her the safeties. Come on.
Nintendo.
I mean, it was all right. It was all right, but I was hoping that she would have defended him at least. Like it should have again another tense moment of, okay, stay on this perch, defend me, don't shoot me because I really need to get to this destination. And now you've got tension building.
Yeah.
Like we don't know in the game. We know she doesn't kill him, but maybe she shoots him in the shoulder. Maybe something else. That could have been another. And then he's like, "Oh, here, okay, you do like this. Here's the safety. The point this end like this." And I'm like, "Really, really?" You see it later. He's like, "The scope is off. The scope is off," and he's showing her and he's laughing with her and blah. Ha, ha, ha. I would have been more like, "No, show her how to defend herself. Stop brushing this off. Be hard on her." Just like I would be hard on anybody else if I had children.
So you would want more realism and more information, and like
exactly, especially when showing somebody how to use a gun in the middle
because I feel like my point is, Sean, on what you were saying with the gun is that I don't feel like there's enough to really give me that relationship feel. It's just distant look, I feel old, distant look, don't leave me, distant look, they leave.
Meanwhile, at 1 hour on Bill.
Yeah,
But hang on.
Ironically, as far as storytelling goes, I thought episode 3 was on fucking point. As far as storytelling goes.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like the rest of the show misses. This is why I'm saying pacing to me matters. Why don't they have like I can understand with the budget that they have like less episodes so they can't film more episodes or whatever.
Yeah,
but like I feel like I'm sorry?
It's because they hired Pascal, no budget. That's why.
That's fair.
No, he
I
might.
don't know.
No, he must be going
I feel like
expensive right now.
if there was like I don't know if the episodes are longer, or if there are more episodes or something to really draw it out, or maybe just don't cover the entire game in 9 episodes. You could do half of it. Just you could add more dialogue if you need to add more character. You could add more character, or you could add just more reason. Like if he's feeling old, looking at his bootstrap and repairing it isn't going to tell me he feels old.
Nintendo, sorry guys, I don't want to interrupt, but Nintendo's been
of
talking
course.
a lot in the chat. She's been saying how he doesn't want to experience what happened to his daughter again with this time with Ellie. That's why he's traumatized, and she's also asking, can Cordyceps survive in the cold? In the game they can, but in this universe where it's a hive mind, I don't know. I don't know where they're going to take that. Actually, that hive mind thing hasn't come into play again. And
I was going to ask, like, did they ever explain why it's a hive mind? Because to me that doesn't make any sense with spores.
Yeah.
I thought that was already part of the video game.
Do spores actually have a hive mind? They're just like some fungus, right? Or whatever?
It's just a fungus.
Like, I'm very ignorant.
It's just a fungus. Yeah.
There's been a lot of stuff on Cordyceps and whatnot ever since the series started talking about it again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at least not from what I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah, but like you said, it all goes back to the pacing that you were saying. Like for instance, like how he didn't take his time to show her with the gun. They can't because they need to rush through it for some reason. They're just blazing through all the motions and trying to get across everything. You know.
I feel like it really does take away from what I'm supposed to be feeling because like I don't hate the show. It's I find the show could be a lot better.
But here's the thing, though, for people that are not fans, okay, that are not fans of the game, that didn't play the game. Like for instance, you have your.
Even just as a show, honestly, just as a show, even if I never played the game, I still find it lacks. Like I'm looking at it, I'm like wondering, like why the fuck does he just feel like that now? Like,
Well, hang on a second.
you know
We're
what I mean?
biased because we did play the game. But like Joe, like you got people watching it who never played the game. What do they think?
ooh,
They're enjoying it. But they're like me. They're like, are we're gonna watch some action? My family wants action. We want action. We want story. It's a good story. We're still watching it. We're still like, oh, it's Sunday. All right, Last of Us. And everyone's like, oh yeah, Last of Us. Let's watch it because they're enjoying it. I mean,
like
but-
it is enjoyable for sure.
But I'm with two people who are not video game enthusiasts. Like we're playing Mario Kart with my wife and my stepdaughter. It's not we're not like she plays Fortnite on her own. Great, but she like I'm not that much above her. I just been playing video games longer in life. But nothing. I'm not
Yeah,
anywhere
yeah.
near you guys the way you guys play video games. But
No, but
they still enjoy it. I mean, they're. I don't think it's a bad show for someone who never saw it. I mean, you'd have to like that type of thing,
No,
I
the reason
I
we're
wouldn't-
being so critical about it is because we know the game. It's like when Lord of the Rings came out,
Absolutely.
when Peter Jackson
Oh,
released
yes
those 3 movies,
and no.
people were
That's why I
critical.
wanted to be on here because I was like, when I saw that episode, sorry, Josh, I was
No,
like,
no.
okay, I gotta call Daniel and be like, I gotta be on this because now I'm like, it's tugging at my heart just the way the video game did in the beginning. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna bring you in, and I'm like, hey, watch this, guys, this is such a good scene, and he's gonna get hurt, and oh, sorry, my bad.
You're like, oh, watch this is gonna be amazing. The great sacrifice that Tess makes. Why is she sucking face with the zombie?
Yeah, that's basically what I've been telling a lot of the guys at work. It's like, oh man, like yeah, okay, this one was lacking a bit of, but I'm telling you, the next episode, it's gonna be so good. I know this. I know it's gonna happen. There's gonna be so much action, and it's like, but that was the action.
Nintendo's
With noise.
Nintendo's saying that she never played the game, and that she really finds the show good. She really enjoys it.
you go.
Anana Banana says she deliberately chose not to play the game and only watched the cutscenes of the game because she didn't really care about the action.
Yeah, you can't really compare Rambo to The Last of Us and the whole tensity of what's actually going on, or what's basically at stake. Like Rambo is literally a whole wartime era, like where people have to like literally gun each other down.
For Joe, if you're
whereas this is
confused,
specifically about surviving.
Anana is my
and
wife, so
survival.
she's just trolling.
The what? Of course, she's just trolling. What Rambo?
The
We
other-
know who Anna is.
Fucking the. Ugh.
Okay, the question is, do I know who Anna Banana is?
Yes.
My wife.
Oh, okay. I
Come
thought we were gonna start.
Step
again.
I can't believe you didn't know this.
I didn't know this. This is my first time on the internet.
So who's Anna Banana?
Someone that likes bananas,
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. Bananas are very nutritious.
they are.
Yeah, very.
So yeah. But I think that's why we're being so critical of the show because we really enjoyed the game and we want to see. We
honestly?
want the emotions that we got from the game to be replicated in the TV show, and it's not living up to it. But when has ever
what-
any adaptation lived up to its original creation?
There was one thing that they adapted into the 6th episode.
Oh,
The way Joel kills people. Like the way he snapped the guy's neck, he literally grabbed him and then did that whole choke where the neck breaks. That was in the game.
But wait,
You
hang
guys
on.
know that breaking is not real, right?
but where's the glass to the face? There was glass to the face. Joel does that. Where's that?
There's
Oh, wait.
also makeshift shivs.
I
They did that in
actually
Rambo.
I actually noticed
Where's
something.
the giant automatics?
I noticed something in episode 6, and if they did this, it's really gonna piss me off because they've eliminated a fantastic moment that shows how brutal Joel is. Okay, the scene where he's in the cabin and he's speaking to the 2 Native Americans, which was a
Oh,
great scene.
yeah.
I thought they were fucking hilarious, man. I was laughing my ass off.
It was hilarious.
If I'm not mistaken, those are Canadian actors.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are. They are.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Well, I don't know about
recognize
the
that guy
show, but I know
forever.
the guy.
The show's filmed in
Yeah.
Alberta, I think.
He's been on so much.
Yeah.
So that scene specifically, he holds him hostage. He points a gun at him. You're gonna tell me where this place is. He puts the map down. You're gonna point at the map. I'm gonna take it to her, and if she doesn't point to the exact same spot, you're gonna be in trouble. You know, he does that little bit, right?
Yeah, which is
It's
that actually technically hasn't happened yet in the
No.
video game. That hasn't happened yet.
It happens after Ellie disappears, and that scene, that interrogation that he does with those people when he's trying to find Ellie, that was the scene when you realized Joel's a fucking psycho. Like he will do what it takes.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. That's when you see like he's done, and
Yeah.
and it's not when Ellie. Yeah, when Ellie goes missing because he wakes up because he's injured, right? He wakes up like you play her story, and then when she's done, he wakes up and that's happening around the same time. Like, where the hell did she go?
Yeah.
And he's like, I need to find her. I need to find her now. This is not how my story ends. And he just
Well, because
Right.
in the game, up until that point, people kept saying, like Joel kept saying, "I've done horrible things. I've done bad things." When they went to Kansas City and they got attacked by those people, he said, "Oh, that guy's not even hurt." In the game, they find
Yeah,
this.
been on the other side of it. Yeah.
Yeah, he said like I've done these things. I've done what these people do. Like at one point, Ellie's like, "Why are there all these shoes here?" And he explains what to do with the shoes because he used to do that too. So like,
Yeah.
it's hinted that he did some nasty things. That was the only time in the game where you actually saw how nasty he got. And you're like, okay, this guy is survival has cracked him a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if they swapped that in a TV show, if they took that out and put it in this scene instead, they fucked up big time. They fucked up Joel's character, in my opinion.
If hold on, sorry. If they do or if they don't do that.
If they did swap it, like if that interrogation scene turns into this scene that we got of him asking those two people in the cabin, you know, where's Jacksonville? Where's Tommy? Have you ever
Yeah.
heard the name Tommy? Like, what the fuck? How are you gonna ask somebody if you have you ever heard the name Tommy? What the fuck? I know 1,000 Tommies, you know. It's like, but
Yeah, but I think he meant like passing through here, and those
Yeah,
two
yeah,
were just
yeah.
like they managed to go under the radar because they were just outside the border, and they're like, bah, we're good here. And they've been, I think, like you stumbled upon two lucky people. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen. Look at Bill and whatever. They got lucky up until a certain point. These
Mhm.
guys, because it's cold and they don't care about living in the cold, clearly because they're Inuit or Aboriginal or whatever. They were okay with that, so they're like, yeah, it's fine. I mean, clearly, they were kind of portraying that type of lifestyle. So they're
Yeah.
like, no one's gonna come here. It's too cold. So why? No one's gonna bother us.
But I don't know if you
So
guys
good.
agree that if they took that scene out, I think they really missed a part of Joel's story, which is like to show you
Yeah.
what he's capable of. Because
I
one
can-
thing is
I
for
can-
sure, in today's
Yeah.
environment, when we're trying to push, diversity, inclusion, all this kind of stuff, is like we are definitely going to get the scene when Ellie goes bonkers on somebody. We're getting it, and we know we're going to get it.
Let's hope.
Yeah, no, they're going to
Something
do it.
like
They're going to do it. They're going to do it. They're not going to miss that. But
If they make that guy as crazy as he
Oh.
was in the
Yeah.
in the game, then fine. That was one of the scariest boss battles I ever played. Like I was
Same.
nerve-wracked.
and I hope they make it as tense in the TV show. It should be like the clicker scene. Goddammit.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree.
Anana's Banana
The
says that
guy's
she
name
saw
was
some
was,
gameplay.
was David, right?
Yeah. Anana's Banana says she saw some gameplay footage. She never played the game, but she saw some gameplay footage of how Joel attacked Henry when Henry attacked Ellie, and she said that Joel was absolutely brutal in the game. Yeah, he was. And it's something
Yeah.
that's missed in the TV show because they're taking this approach, this angle where Joel is old, tired, beaten, doesn't want to survive anymore. Which is strange because at the end of the game, it's the main conversation he has with Ellie. He says like you keep doing the next thing to survive, you know?
Yeah.
He had that was in him, you know?
Speaking of diversity, if I can just switch it to a second here, I have 2 points to bring up. One, do you guys find that there is enough, or there's way too much diversity in this game, in
No.
this TV show?
I think there's a good amount.
I didn't. I mean, obviously, there's the Pedro Pascal aspect of it, and his brother Tommy. They're not. They're both of Latin
Tommy's
descent, and they're not
wife.
like white Texans or whatever.
They're not Texans, yeah. The way
But-
the game portrays is white
No,
Texans.
But
I think
but
realistically,
I'm really happy
Sorry,
that
go
they didn't like rip out their Texan heritage and whatever and change everything and make them like cholos or whatever. I'm really happy about that. The only diversity that I saw was Tommy's wife.
Yeah.
What about Joel's kid?
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, that's
she
true.
popped
No,
up.
I
She
think
popped up in episode
given,
6.
given the location, I think like given the location and what actually happened to the planet, I think it's just the right amount. Like you're not
Okay.
going to see anyone far out.
Okay, so bringing that, because I was like, I didn't understand why they changed out his wife. Okay, fine. They kept the name Maria, but I want you guys to go back because for a second there, and maybe I'm crazy, but for a second there, when they're crossing the gates, when he goes, "Oh, Tommy, I'm looking for Tommy," and they bring him in, okay, and you look up at you've got like the big gates that open up, and they've got the
Guards or
whatever the cross, the catwalk on top where the guys are posted. There's a woman there who I said, that's Maria. In my head, I'm like, oh, that's Maria. That's Tommy's wife. She was dressed in the jean jacket, the blonde hair, the bandana. Maybe it was just some sort of weird, my brain making a wrong thing because his wife was, oh yeah, we're family now, blah 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 blah. And she
Yeah.
was white in the game and whatever, blonde. If you go back to that scene and maybe pause it, I should have done this. I should have done my homework. I really thought that would have been her. I don't know if they did like a homage to her. I don't know. Maybe go back. Maybe I'm wrong. But when the camera goes up and he's looking up, and there's this one specific girl looking down, I'm like, oh, that's the wife. We're gonna see her later. And then after blah 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 blah. You meet her, and they changed her. Fine. Now, okay, that answers my second question because at a certain point in that scene, I was having this discussion with my wife. They were saying that Joel was. They got the impression that Joel was racist, and I'm like, no, that can't. That's completely wrong because his daughter is black,
Right.
so that's just not going to happen. And he's of Latin descent, like you said. But because as the fact that he didn't congratulate her on the marriage, that was the only part where when they're at the table, they're talking, and she's like, "Oh," and Ellie's like, "Oh,
Okay, yeah.
congratulations, you guys are married because we're family." Blah 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 blah. It comes up, and he looks at her, and he looks at Tommy, and he congratulates Tommy, but he doesn't congratulate her.
Mhm.
And it's like, why would you do that? And they're like, oh well, he doesn't approve of the black wife. I'm like, no, that can't be it because clearly, like, you know
No,
what I mean? Like,
I feel like that was he wasn't like not approving
he
that she
snubbed
was
her.
black.
At
He was
that point,
just
he snubbed her.
he was at least from what I'm getting off of the whole encounter between him and Tommy afterwards. He was just upset that Tommy, ditched, didn't say anything. And it's like, oh, you ditched, and then you didn't say anything. Oh, and you got married. Oh, thank you. And you didn't give a shit about me. That
Well-
was what he was trying to get. At least that's why he didn't really say congrats. 'cause
Correct me,
you kind of got
correct me
all
if I'm
that after
wrong,
they
but
talked.
I don't remember the
And plus the
exact.
first impression, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember
Yeah.
the exact layout of the scene, but I'm pretty sure that when they were at the table and they were eating, they explained how, yeah, we're sorry about the dogs, we're sorry about threatening you and that kind of stuff. We just can't let anybody in here. We can't let anybody know where we are. And then they find out that they're married, and I think Joel was pissed because he connected the dots. He's like, okay, so you're the reason I didn't know what was going on with my brother. That's how I took
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's basically what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. 'Cause that was my somewhat of argument. I didn't put that together, but I was like, they were just like, why doesn't he congratulate her? I'm like, well, he's a hard guy. I mean, they're like, he's not racist. It's clear, like that cannot be
No,
it. They're
no.
Definitely
they're
didn't
all-
get
But
it.
yo, hang on.
You got the wrong impression completely. That's not where he was going with.
I'm really
that.
sorry. This is gonna be a bad take, but in that episode, at some point, there like the screen flashes and you see Sarah for some reason. I forget at what moment in the episode that happens, and in my mind, I don't know why it did this for a split second. I'm like, who's that black girl? And I was like, oh right, that's Sarah.
No, dude, it was the same thing. I'm like, why is he looking at her with the curly hair? I don't get it. Like,
Yes, yes, that's it.
Oh, right,
that's
yeah.
it. That's what it was. Oh man, but you know what's funny fact? Nintendo says that it makes sense for where they are in that part of America for there to be like a diversity, like a mixed culture.
No, everything makes sense. I'm not saying it doesn't. Everything makes sense. It was just there was a lot of changing to. He was again. If you're gonna change him at that point for him being a true white Texan, I don't know. What was that? What does that even mean?
They took our jobs.
You know, to making it more diverse. It's like okay, well, making it more realistic.
No, but
Is it a snub to the video game? Was the video game playing to the fact that it is mostly young white males playing the video game versus TV is a broader audience and you have no choice to do this?
no,
You know?
but
Maybe Pedro Pascal's contract says that he cannot be in a very violent scene. Maybe they went Disney on him, or maybe he went Disney on them, saying, "Listen, my character, I don't do this stuff."
It's hard
Actually-
to kind of take that when he's doing Mando and he's going around running and gunning a good portion of people.
well, you know,
With a sword.
that could be a
With a
stunt
sword
double.
right now, apparently.
In Mandalorian, he's technically a voice actor.
Oh shit.
But
Yeah, basically.
fun fact is what I wanted to mention. What Nintendo said, she said that Pedro Pascal, his in his biography, he actually grew up in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an interesting fact. They picked a dude from Texas to portray a character from Texas. Just happens to be
That's
Pedro
neat.
Pascal.
I think he just has good agents.
That too.
And he's,
Honestly, the whole quote race swap is, I don't know. I don't really care. Like,
Well,
I just
no,
want a good actor to play a good show. That's all. I don't really care.
I'll tell you what. I take it as a red flag. And you know what? When I saw when Ellie and Joel were surrounded by the horses and the dog was sniffing them, and the black girl, he said, "I'm looking for my brother. He lives in Jacksonville, Tommy." And then the black girl acted weird. I'm like, "Oh fuck, that's Maria." Like I knew that was Maria the moment that happened because I'm conditioned to a point that I'm expecting race swaps in existing properties now. That's where I am honestly as a consumer, and that's not to say it's a bad thing. And I've said it before about this show, and I'll say it again: is that this show has its elements of like diversity and inclusion and whatever, but it's not forced on you. That's why the Bill and Frank episode works. You know, they didn't
Yeah.
shove it down your throat. It came naturally.
No, they only give you 52 minutes of it.
Yeah, a little too much of it. A little too much of it. But like
Again,
Maria
I have
being
no issue
black.
because that was a good backstory of how Bill came to be. I just thought Bill was more of like a. I mean, I guess it's a video game and it's hard to make graphics the way you want to, but he seemed more of like a dirty guy, like a whatever. You know,
Yeah.
you only
You're right.
find out that he's gay later on when Ellie steals the magazine and it's all boys, and you're like, oh, Bill was gay. Okay, cool.
Well,
You know,
you
unless,
there
unless
there
it was
was
something I missed, but
there was the whole letter from Frank to Bill, because like there's a letter that Frank leaves that kind of
oh yeah, that's
towards
the letter.
that
I
as
forgot
well.
it.
But like, yeah, no, that's it. Like unless you went around like reading all the extra stuff, but again, most of the time either people don't or just I only found out about it later on too.
It
The
never
But
clicked at that point during the game. It didn't click until only after. That's why I connect that
But
scene. With that.
at least they were just bringing in stuff that was already there and just kind of like they didn't shove it in your face, but they're like, oh yeah, by the way, he's gay, and you know the game referenced that, but they didn't really put the game barely put it in your face. The show just like nudged the plate over a little bit and put it a little bit more
Yeah.
there. And you're
Yeah,
like,
it's fine. They dedicated a whole. I mean, just call it what it is. They dedicated a whole episode on Bill's story. Bill happened to be gay. I liked the fact that you learn how they met. It was realistic. Everything they did with Bill was realistic. For me,
Yeah.
I was believable.
yeah.
And he was a hard up guy, not really sure, living up in a town, couldn't really come out of the closet. This guy's here, and it just happened the way it happened. Great.
Offerman was also a pretty good choice in that.
Yeah,
in that
Offerman,
regard.
I like. He was a fantastic choice. Nintendo
Yeah.
says that, but in general, the show doesn't have any straight white men as any leads. It's interesting when you think about it. Like, I guess.
Didn't even know.
I find
Yeah.
it's kind of expected nowadays, to be fair.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say was that how like I expect the inclusion in my TV shows, and the reason why it doesn't bother me in this one is like because they could have gone a completely different route with Marlene's character. Not Marlene, sorry. Tommy's wife. What's her
Maria?
name? Maria. Maria's character, like for instance, like for me, it would have been very stereotypical, like modern Hollywood, if they would have like introduced Joel, Tommy, and Maria in that town, and then Joel has to help them rally the people together because they want like Tommy and Maria want to like lead the people in the right direction and show them how things are done, and we could do some good here. But the people don't want a black woman in charge. Like that kind of shit happens too often in entertainment nowadays. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
they didn't go that route. She was just
No.
there, and she did her thing, and people.
She said she was voted in. Are you the leader? No, I'm
Yeah.
just voted in, like a communist democracy, the way it should be.
And you know what? The show threads a nice line. It tries to stay away from politics. Like it dropped the communism line and how communism works. But then when you have Joel on the horse riding with Ellie after they left, he says like, "Oh yeah, but don't forget like that probably won't work in like an entire country. That's why it works because it's a small community right now. So it's trying to steer away from the political conversation and just give us a story, which I appreciate honestly.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So yeah,
And that's how it's supposed to be, small communities. But we won't. That's another. That'll be another podcast.
you open up that door behind him. There's a bomb shelter in there.
Because they're right. That works for neighborhoods and whatever. And like
Yeah.
I try to be really nice to my neighbors all the time. They're like, "Oh, you got a leaf blower." I'm like, "Yeah, borrow it anytime." They're like, "Oh, it's gas. Maybe I'll get." I'm like, "Why are you gonna spend money? I have it. Borrow it."
Yeah.
Like that's how community should be. And that when I saw that scene with all them working and she was talking about it, I was like, "This is a prepper's dream." I'm like, I can't wait to the end of the world, but I need people who think like this. Like. It was really good, and it was right. Like it does work in small communities because when you get too big, you have, people either have to adopt that way of thinking or leave, right? So
Well,
that's
that
why-
like humans weren't really meant to know that many people. Like a couple hundred, sure, a couple thousand, maybe less. I don't know.
and you
I read somewhere that they weren't meant to like the whole social media thing. Like humans weren't meant to have this much exposure to these many people without some sort of side effect. And then you see a bunch of crazy shit on TikTok and such, kind of proving the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, because I mean, you have a town like that, so then everyone comes in with skills and abilities. Fine. Well, you have a doctor, you have a nurse who used to be, okay, well, we can do this with that. I'm a good engineer, I can build this. Other people come in and say, well, I'm not really. Some people are just clumsy, some people are just not good. So eventually, the people who don't, or they don't need to be like, okay, well, we have enough people to maintain the town. Now all the new people coming in are just people we have to support. Then you become industrialized because now you're like, well, now we need so many cows to feed so many people, and then you have to industrialize. That's where the problem starts, I think,
Yeah.
without getting too much into it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I agree.
you
And
have a small community and everyone's doing their part, and people have children and they move off and they move in and out, and you have a good flow of things. Okay, good. But once you start getting so many people to rural areas like a city or whatever, well, then you need to start building outward. And then that's where issues arise because now you have someone just doing a mundane job all the time. But if everyone's participating and everyone does a shift and everyone does this and everyone, and you're like, you have a schedule and you're working and you're doing stuff, then it's okay because everyone's like, I'm doing work, but it's work to benefit everybody. Not like I'm stuck at the factory because there's too many people and nobody else wants to do the factory job because I just decided I'll take that job.
I have a question for you.
That's where, yeah, tell me.
Are there cannibals? Because there's a question here. Was there a cannibal thing in the game?
That's yeah.
I believe so. Yes.
I'm sorry, I was just really intrigued. I'm like, were there cannibals in the game? And then Joe just went off on a tangent of society and working, and I was like, ugh. Come on, Joe. We're watching a show. I don't want to work.
No, but
So, I mean, I don't-
the next episode is gonna address it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, was that with the
No,
interesting
I'll-
fellow who liked Ellie,
Yeah.
if you will? Yeah, I'll put
Yeah,
it
the
like
next
that.
episode is gonna
those were
address
the
that
cannibals.
question. For
Gotcha.
sure. Oh, actually, I'm curious. What do you have to say about that preview of episode 7?
Oh, it's pretty much what we thought.
Oh, I don't know what you thought. Oh, jeez.
It's pretty much the DLC.
Oh,
For the whole thing, like there's not gonna be
At
any
least-
Joel at all.
At least that's what the entire trailer.
You know, I'll be honest. I would have
But
been
it's
okay
fine.
with it if they didn't have episode 3, because it's basically episode 3.
So that's
But
episode
for
7, right?
lesbians,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Episode 7. Yeah.
Okay, so episode 7 is about Ellie, her backstory.
I'd be
Episode
more
8
okay with it if it was that without the episode 3. Like, if one of them, like, you know what I mean? Like, if it was an either or, like, you have 2 episodes of basically the same kind of theme.
Yeah, I see.
Am I wrong to think this?
No, I don't know. I mean, you're right. You're right. I can't deny that. You know. But
Like, I don't mind if it was, like, a thing and it happened to be in the episode and it continued, but, like, an entire episode? Wouldn't that just be episode 3, but with girls?
yeah, but to be fair,
Basically.
episode 7, if it's about what we think it is, that's going to lead directly into the situation with the gentleman that really likes Ellie.
Okay.
That's what
Okay,
that's
I
what
can
that's
see-
what
I
that's
can
what that's
see
what
how
leads her
that
to
could
get
lead
caught,
into it.
basically.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
so
could potentially
7
be
to
good.
8. 8 is them, unless they skip it out completely. 8 is about them, him finding Ellie because he's injured. She goes off alone. He goes
Yeah.
and saves her, and then 9 is he brings her to the facility, and then
What happens
and then
happens. Yeah.
Exactly. He brings her to the facility and then realizes no, you guys are no, and no. Right? I mean, there's no spoilers. Everyone's seen it.
Yeah, no, but there's some people in the chat. I don't know if they've seen it. That's the thing. I didn't tag this as a spoiler.
Oh no, I'm assuming that this is how they're gonna do it in 7, 8, 9, and then they're gonna. And then
I
put it on
honestly
how many-
haven't
how many
played the game
ratings.
For me-
PS3. It's all like a blur to me.
For me, honestly, there's 3 ways that this
be
could
honest.
go. There's 3 ways that this could go for me, and it's number 1. I think they're just going to play out the entire game. So, like you said, exactly what you described is what's going to happen. Number 2, if they wanted to change the pace and give it a slow burn to tell us the story, the season ends with Ellie getting medication for Joel.
Okay.
It ends with that, and then we see where they
The
go on
season?
from there. Yeah, like episode 9 ends that way, you know.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Or
Oh,
in
if it goes that way.
episode 9, we're gonna fast forward 5 years at the end of the episode, and we'll see Joel playing golf.
Oh, I really hope I see Joel playing golf.
Those are the 3 endings.
Is that
I
how he
see.
dies? He gets a 9-iron to the head.
Mm,
How he dies?
right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But
No, for a second
who's
when
got
you
a
said
PS4
playing golf,
that
I completely forgot about that. I was like, why would he be playing golf? I mean, I don't remember him playing golf in the. Oh,
Yeah, because he's dead. I know he's dead.
Uh,
Joe!
you want- you want to know another little tidbit? But it's not really much of a spoiler, but I guess it's kind of neat.
I didn't spoil anything, did I? We know he's dead.
No, we didn't.
What, Dave Bautista is going to play the person that kills him?
No. What's her name? The voice actress of Ellie is going to be in the 7th episode. Is going to be in the next episode.
Oh, the original?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Ashley
cool.
Johnson.
Well, like I said, in episode, what was it, 4 or whatever? The chick
Yeah.
from 2.5 Men? Her
Yeah.
her lackey, the guy with
Yeah,
the...
that
was Tommy.
It's funny that they chose her.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I was surprised how much hate she was getting on Twitter. I really was. People were like, "Oh my god, you're too fat."
Played a good crazy. Played a good crazy.
They were like,
She's just not-
you're too fat to be a leader of a rebellion." I was like, "Ah, that's not my problem. My problem is, I don't know."
There's no point to her.
That was a good backstory. I enjoyed that backstory because now you know why that rebellion was happening. Why that's that group of people, why they were all upset. It's like cool. It gives body to the story. That I really enjoyed.
Oh,
No. That rebellion didn't
You're
happen
looking
because of
after
her.
Henry because he said stuff. Like, that's not really a great backstory to turn a city upside down and murder
Well, no,
a bunch of people.
because of her brother, right? The brother was a great man, and this and that. And
It would have been cool to get backstory of that part, but it's like kind of cut dry, right? Bad government, people rebel. Ta-da.
Yeah, because she was crazy.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
She's crazy.
White girls go crazy. They nailed it right on the head.
Oh my
There's the
God.
clip.
Just like Game of Thrones that I just rewatched. White blonde chick, Targaryen. Once a dragon killer, always a dragon killer. I don't know. It's just I really enjoyed Game of
Man, I
Thrones.
wish you would have mentioned that. I'm starting to have PTSD about Ned again. Poor Ned.
Ugh.
And that actor dies at everything.
Everything,
No
man.
kidding.
He dies at like 95% of his career.
It has to be a joke at this point, man. Like it's
I
ridiculous.
hope so.
And
I really
I
hope so.
really want to see
He was in
him.
this like quote unquote horror slasher movie where he plays like a stalker serial killer, and it was so cheesy. And you're like, I'm pretty sure he knows that he's gonna die in this. I'm pretty sure he doesn't care anymore.
But like when everybody sees that character, they always think of that guy from Lord of the Rings. There, one of the people of the Fellowship.
Oh, the one who
Yeah.
dies?
Yeah. But for me, until the end of my days, he's 006 from GoldenEye.
Absolutely.
He's Alex Trevelyan.
No
All
kidding.
Sure, yeah.
So,
Also, do you
real
guys,
quick,
do you guys want to see who plays David in the what's it?
Yeah, Boromir.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, not Boromir. Oh yeah,
No,
that's
no,
that's
I'm
the
looking
name
at
of
the
Lord of the Rings. But do you guys want to see what the guy looks like for what's it? The weird Ellie's new friend that she's gonna be meeting.
all right, let's see him.
Is it R. Kelly?
No.
Oh God.
Okay.
I just. Anyways.
Oh wait, I don't know how we're gonna put this up on chat.
I just looked it up. It wasn't that. I was just crazy. The Tommy's
Okay.
original wife scene to pay homage to the original character. It doesn't pop up anywhere.
Can I post
No,
the
right?
links on your
Okay.
chat? Was
But you should look
Oh, right.
look at it again. I'm telling you, it's her.
It's what?
All right, I'll put up a link in your chat. There you go. That's who's gonna be playing Dave.
Let's see who this is.
That face.
Hey, that's pretty accurate though.
Yeah, I know it is.
Oh, what is that? That's fucking creepy. Okay.
Okay, that I don't want to see it.
Okay, now I have to look up Dave.
He
Fucking Dave.
Or David.
Fucking Dave.
David.
look, Nintendo. You wanted a straight white man. We got one. he's definitely gonna be a lead.
He's a creepy looking ginger.
Oh, wait. The character's kind of. Okay, yeah, I can see it.
It pleases me that he's a ginger.
Oh, God damn it.
I feel like there's another actor who could really fill that too.
Oh man. So overall, real quick,
William Dafoe.
we didn't. Ooh. I didn't see The Lighthouse. I feel like it would freak me out, man. I don't want to see that. Real quick, I want to know. So we didn't talk about episode 6 too much, but to be honest, there's not too much to cover other than the panic attack and the reconciliation of Joel and Ellie and their bonding at the end, and that was it.
And the
Scene
stabbing
with
after.
the extra scene with the finding of Tommy. That was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Again, the more we talk about it, the more that things come back. Again, the finding of Tommy, I felt like it was downplayed also. Again,
Oh, 100%.
because I did a scene for scene comparison, right? It's I know I shouldn't do it because we don't want to copy paste.
I thought it was better in the TV show.
I thought it was better in the game because
I thought it's
be-
better
because
how
it-
you watch it.
Because in the game, the reason why I thought it hit harder was because they really took emphasis that how they did some bad things in the TV show, and that kind of stuff, and how they did what it took to get out of any situation they were in and whatnot, and so be it. But in the game, Tommy resented Joel. He didn't necessarily want Joel around, and Joel had to point out to him, it was like, we survived because of the things that I did for us, you know. So Joel took care of his little brother.
It was a different vibe.
Yeah, it was a completely different vibe.
Yep.
And I just feel like the vibe in the game was so much darker and so much grittier than we're getting in the show. That's all. You know,
Well, yeah, it's a show.
adapted
It's
for
like
adapted for TV. Yeah,
Walking
this is
Dead
good.
versus comics.
Yeah. This sets up season 2 and for what happens to Joel and their mistakes. Yeah, he says his name a little too often, I guess. He's announcing to everybody, "My name's Joel." It's like, so I wanted to know, overall, what did you guys think of the episode? Your best, your worst, in the middle. Let's start with the Joel.
I honestly thought it was one of the weaker ones.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not because like Rambo wasn't in it, even though he could be in it. Like, why not Rambo? Like, Gay Rambo, but like, I don't know. I thought there's, I don't know. I just felt,
Adrian.
I
The
felt
last
under
Rambo was the best movie, by the way.
Which one?
Rambo First Blood.
The
First
last one.
The last Rambo.
For me, the
Or is
order
all-
is First Blood and Last Blood. Those are my favorites in that order.
Okay. Have I seen last one? Drago.
Yeah, the fourth one was just killing. It's amazing.
The fourth.
Rocky.
No talk.
What about the fifth
All
one?
kill. There's
Last
a fifth one
Last
Yeah,
Blood.
there's a fifth one.
where he's in the jungle.
No, that's the fourth one.
No. The last one.
The last one's in America.
That came out. Yeah, the last one's in America.
It's called Last
Well,
Blood.
he goes down. No, he goes down to he goes down to like South America, no, or Mexico.
Well, he goes to Mexico, then he
Yeah.
comes back to America.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of Rambo.
Now I'm talking about the one where he's like he fights with these Tibetans or whatever. He's in
Yeah,
the ring.
you're talking about Rambo. Rambo 4, which came out in 2008. Why do I
Yeah,
know
that
that?
one.
Anyways.
That one. Okay, now I got to see Rambo 5. Now I got to see this one.
Oh, Rambo Last Blood. It's
kidding.
on Amazon Prime. And to be honest, my favorite are in those specific orders: First Blood, and then Last Blood. And after that, Rambo 4, which is the one you saw. Well, the one you like. Sorry. Okay, so Josh
Well,
says
Daniel.
not his favorite episode, but not a worst one.
No, it wasn't bad, but I definitely thought it could be better. So it was probably one of the lesser of the episodes.
PT.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree. It was still fun for what it was, but yeah, there was definitely some lacking. It's not one of their stronger episodes.
Joe.
At this point, I think it's on par with everything else. I can't say it's. I couldn't even rate it if it was better or not. We're learning more. There was obviously more in this episode. That's what we found. There was more stuff going on, so there's actually more stuff you can chew on from compared to everything else. As far as I go, and as far as me watching it with people who have no idea what the game is about, it's like a 50-50 for me. It's like it's on par. There's no. It's not. It wasn't a better one. It wasn't a worse one. Just on par.
Okay. For me, same.
Most diverse. Sorry.
For me, it wasn't bad at all. I liked it. Not my favorite episode. Just curious, out of you guys, if you had to pick a favorite episode, which would it be? Because for me, it would probably be either. I think it's gonna be the last episode, episode 5, Henry and Sam.
The last one. Oh.
The one.
You know,
the one before this.
I have to agree because that was the most intense moment so far with Henry and Sam.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one, or I would almost say the first one, just because I thought that there was how do I put it?
Oh, actually,
There was a lot of good nostalgia, and there was a lot of good like, there was a lot of good fan service.
That's true.
But there was new stuff that they put in there to kind of not stick completely to the first, like the shot for shot to the game, but it was well done. I really liked the first episode.
yeah, I really dig 5. 5 was boss as fuck. It wasn't any Rambo. It was no Rambo, but It was dope. It had the bloater. It had a conclusion to that crap. And that girl died.
Oh no, you're
I
talking
was
about
super
episode
happy
4
about
with the
that.
bloater, no?
5? Wasn't it 5
Was it 5?
with Henry?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it
it was
wasn't
fun,
five,
'cause
you're
that,
right,
that was
sorry.
two. It was two. It was two. It was a two-part.
No,
Okay.
but see,
Well,
going
the one
back
with
to what you
bloater and
talked
the one
about-
where he shoots his little brother than
Yep.
himself. That one,
Yeah.
that episode.
yeah, like that, we're all in agreement. That's the best one. But
If,
like,
if that's the same thing and it's not just bleeding in my memory, then yes,
Yeah.
that episode.
there's definitely
Oh.
enough.
It's such a good job on the horde. That horde was nothing but clickers and a bloater, and it was so accurate with what they were saying about how like they get worse when they age and how they were trapped long
Yeah.
ago. So it makes sense that they're all clickers or a bloater.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I like the accuracy of it. Like it's no Last Blood, but it was pretty. dope to see.
No, running up to the tower, I enjoyed it. That was one of the scenes. I'm like, oh, this is such a good scene.
Yeah,
Watch, watch,
there's like
watch.
it was just
And
it was
he
a
comes up and
good.
he's just gonna like smack the guy in the
was
head,
like,
and the old man, and he's like,
It's like what's it?
you have a
Daredevil
choice.
episode 3. If Dan remembers, like
What's
Daredevil,
that?
it was in episode 3 with the hallway fight.
Oh
He's like
yeah.
fighting his way down the hallway to get to
Oh.
rescue like the little kid, or like
Yeah.
season 2 where it's down the staircase. Like that's what that episode felt like. You had the militia going and doing their thing. You had the horde doing their thing. You had Joel showing that he could snipe people and that he actually cares whether or not Ellie doesn't get eaten by things. And the brothers kill themselves, and it was great.
Yeah, because to be honest, I
It was-
remember in
it
that
was
scene,
a
I
cool
bought
episode.
that Joel was afraid for Ellie in that scene.
Like I thought it was a pretty cool episode. Like
Mhm.
that's it. It just had actual conclusions and not just I'm old for some reason. Even though we know you're old, it was fucking 30 years later.
Then
Like-
Tenda agrees with us. She says that she believes that was also one of her favorite episodes, and that she never played the game, and she thinks that this must be an amazing level with Henry and Sam. It is. I mean, it's a good
Yeah.
level, but it's not the memorable one.
Which is good taste.
all levels in the First of Us. The First of Us, Last of Us game is good.
Oh man, I actually can't
I'm
wait.
getting my PS3
uh,
back for my
It
parents.
comes
and
out on
everything.
PC. Because it comes out on PC this month, right?
I think so. The remaster.
Yeah. I want to replay it. It's been forever since I played it.
I mean,
With all that
but I'll
graphics
tell you
and
what though, watching this TV show has really made me want to play the game again. Like I really want to go through it.
Yeah, that's why I was super
Because,
actually really contemplating getting it.
Like it's giving me a taste for what I know it could be, and now like no, it's not good enough. I want it. Oh man.
I just want to use the upgraded pipe and just
I want to be able to shank a bloater
Yeah,
right
he has,
now.
he has to
Have
make
a-
a ship first, and then he has to MacGyver it to the pipe.
no. But if you get enough pills, if he's drugged up enough,
Okay, this is Max
I
Payne.
also like, I also like how they reference that in the first episode too. Is like he's just literally popping all sorts of pills. to feel better.
He's just popping.
It's like how can we reference the game? I don't know. Make Joel a druggie. Right, he didn't take a lot of pills in the game, so let's do that. Wait, I wasn't serious.
People-
No, we're gonna put that in
Yeah.
there.
By the end of the season, he's a full addict. He sells Ellie.
Oh god.
That's
I
how he's
need more
different.
pills. I need more pills.
Sells- She's immune. How much can I get?
The crazy thing is, like, for instance, I know there's a lot of people out there who like will watch all the cutscenes of a game to get an essence for the story. Like, Ananda's
play
Bananas
the game.
is one of those people. Like, she'll watch. She doesn't play games at all, but she'll watch like a bunch of story-based games. Jesus Christ, you could fit a lot of things in there. Anyways, so a lot of people go on Twitch and they'll watch other people play a game because they don't want to play a game. Some people go on YouTube and watch a Let's Play so they can get an experience for the story. And I feel like when you do that, you're missing out on so much because the in-game interactions
Yeah, the banter.
is what is where the beauty is. Like that whole scene of Ellie in the TV show when she's reading from the pun book, that doesn't happen in any cutscene. That all happens in game. You know.
Yep.
It was beautiful moments.
Yeah, if
and
you're
I'm glad the
really
TV show.
watching an actual walkthrough. It's going to be longer, but at least you'll see everything.
Yeah, and I'm glad the TV show brought that to light. You know, they were able to capture some of that at least, in-game banter and not necessarily just copy cutscenes shot for shot.
I kind of wish they did more of it because like there was a good amount of that banter, like especially with the joke book, the pun book.
Mhm.
Actually, at some point you're doing nothing but puns, like fucking 20 minutes. It's great.
And I remember I said if there's another scene that I want to see done in the show, it's the giraffe scene. Oh man, I hope they bring it. I want to see it.
They better have a live giraffe, not some fake shit one.
If you go to the Steam store, you can take a look at the giraffe.
the
hell did you just say?
If you go to the Steam store and you look up Last of Us Part 1, you can see the giraffe. It's one of the first couple of pictures.
You son of a bitch. Son of a bitch, you want a live giraffe.
Wow.
Go to fucking Park Safari or something and get me a giraffe.
It looks pretty good.
Oh, but Joe, seriously, if you haven't seen Last Blood, check it out. Ultra violent, nice story.
Well, I hope it has to be more violent than the last one.
Well, yeah, it's the Last Blood.
Yeah, it's the Last Blood, but there's another one coming out.
But speaking of watching games, there's a lot of things that pop up on my feed, and the realism is pretty good. And I don't know if it's just virtual reality, but some guys are playing online. These horror games where you're going into rooms and these mannequins are like they only move when you're not looking at them and stuff like that.
That's
Yeah.
Resident Evil.
That's Resident Evil.
It's a mod for
Resident Evil
Village?
or
What?
8 or whatever it is. Yeah, it's Village.
Yeah,
It's Village, but it's a DLC.
it's DLC. Yeah, sorry.
Yo, yeah, actually, I agree with that.
No,
That-
but then what about that thing where that clown is chasing you?
Oh,
You're
that's
running around and there's that
Poppy.
clown.
Oh, Poppy, like it's chasing you in events and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all that. Oh, that thing is so weird.
Yeah, that's been the latest trend. There's been a lot of like horror based games.
Yeah, like what's it, Five Nights at Freddy's type shit.
Yeah, there's been a lot of those
Oh.
style of games. There's
Have you seen
which one's ARGs.
Sorry,
Okay,
what?
like I want in. Like I want
Have you
to.
seen Choo Choo
I'll
Charlie?
buy a VR system just to play that.
Oh, dude, Choo Choo Charlie looks fucked up, man.
You know, it's like if it and Thomas the
the
Tank
Engine
had
fused.
vicious sex.
Yeah.
It looks
I mean, I
terrible.
enjoy playing Bendy.
Like the fuck
What?
is that train doing with spider legs and a clown face? The fuck's wrong with you?
What did you say, Joe?
A Bendy with it's a Nintendo Switch game.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't even think I finished it.
Bendy?
No, I did finish it. It was good. It was
that?
just black and white with this guy with ink and blah 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 blah. blah and then
Okay, I
it was
think I know what you're talking about.
by evil spirits and it was black and white. I enjoyed playing with my wife. She was screaming the whole time.
I remember I told you guys about a horror game that learns your habits and uses it against you.
That's cool.
I think it was Layers of Fear. I'm not sure.
Not Alien Resurrection or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Just
But like for
evil virtual reality. Let's
Oh.
go.
virtual reality.
Of Resident Evil.
Oh, it's already out.
No.
Well, then I have to buy it. I have to spend money.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get yourself a PS4,
Get a VR
either PS4 Pro or PS5, and then get yourself the whole VR setup. So you're looking at a good $1,500.
Hey, honestly,
$200 just to play the
Okay, I
game.
don't need to leave after that.
Joe, if you do that, I'd sub. I'd pay. I'd watch you go through that experience, man.
Oh
You
my
know?
god, you just put a diaper on me.
Oh man, I've always wanted to do horror games, but I'm not gonna deny it. I'm a fucking chicken shit. I can't. It freaks
Guys,
me
I
out
would
so much.
scream with Resident Evil 1.
Oh, that was pretty scary, man. Those
That
pixels.
was
Oh
a
my
good
god,
one.
the
That
pixel!
one
Hey,
is
the
fun.
pixel!
What the hell?
Two,
You have
two
to
is fun, but 2 is more arcade.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's $700 for the VR set.
Oh wow, just 700.
Wait, has Nintendo
It's on
played
my
Resident Evil in
car.
VR?
I don't have $700.
What's that?
Oh jeez.
Nintendo played Resident Evil in VR. What was it like?
Nintendo, tell me.
I think very scary.
Apparently, it's really scary.
Very scary.
don't
I
know.
just remember playing that game on GameCube and thinking to myself, if this ever came out in VR, I definitely play it. And my buddies are like, "You're crazy," and I'm like, "Yeah, I am crazy." And now it's there, and I'm like, How does VR work? Like, how do you walk? You just move forward, like with the triggers.
You have the joystick.
'Cause you're not
Oh, yeah,
actually
you-
walking forward.
You still have
No, you
joystick.
don't actually walk forward. There's like a little box you're put in, and you can move around in this box. They try and tell you to keep a certain distance, but you're generally moving with the 2 minutes that are put into your hand.
Mhm.
So you're actually moving around with that. You can some games will either make you kind of point and click into an area, and you'll just move forward into that area.
Yeah.
But for the most part, because otherwise, like you'd run into something. You'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna walk down this corridor," and then you smack into a wall.
My pause.
Nintendo said she played for 10
Over my
minutes and she
dog.
said, fuck that. She turned it off and then she's like, you have to use the remote to move, actually. So the joysticks,
Okay.
I'm assuming. But yeah, she says on PS5, it came out today, actually.
Nice.
So you gotta go get a
Could
PS5.
you just sit down on your couch and do it, or do you have to stand up? Because my knees are pretty short.
I think you might have to.
No, I think you can sit and play, but you're gonna hinder yourself. You're gonna put yourself in really bad positions quite often.
Well,
Well, no,
Are you
because I
gonna-
feel if I'm standing up and something scares me, I'm gonna fall over and then I'm gonna lose my balance.
That's the
If I'm
point.
on the
That's
couch,
like half the fun.
That is the point.
Not injure yourself.
oh, it's because you got to turn like your head, turn around. I guess.
Oh, if something's
Yeah.
behind you, you're not just gonna look behind you. You're gonna turn around with your whole body. You want to face it to shoot it, right?
Yeah. You want to be scared, or you
I
want to
wanna-
be
I
kind
get
of
a swivel chair.
What?
That would work, I think. that would work.
Hold on,
See?
let's do this. This is how I play the game.
You see, Joe was the guy that when the Wii first came out, it came with Wii Sports, and you had to play tennis. He was the guy on the couch like this.
No, no,
like Zelda, just kind of like wanting it.
I never like that. I stood up.
Oh,
And
get
I
it.
can't wait till the new Wii. The new Wii just came out for the Wii Sports came out for Switch. I'm waiting for it to go on sale, even for $5, because I don't believe in spending more than $6 on a game. I'll be honest with you. That's why I have a lot of games on my Switch, because I wait till they all go on sale. I think I've spent
How much did
the
you
most
spend on
I've ever spent
GoldenEye?
on a video game is $25.
How much did you spend on
Guys at
GoldenEye?
my age. What?
How much did you spend on GoldenEye?
Technically zero, because it came free with a 1-year subscription.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So I didn't just
Gotcha.
get GoldenEye. I beat Sonic 2 again, which is a lot easier when you have a save. Because I remember Sonic 2 on Genesis. My grandmother bought a Genesis for us back in the day. I don't know why. She figured we'd come over, we'd be babysat all the time. We only had one game,
Be back.
Sonic 2. Came with the system. It's still there in her basement. Still, I don't think you can even pull out the game. I think it's still stuck in there. And summers and just weekends, just hitting it, and just like finally beating it. And then I downloaded. I beat it in like an hour, 2 hours, just because I could press save and go back. First level, you save up, you get your 8-9 lives, and I never used my 8-9 lives because I just pressed save and went back to the level. And no, I died. No,
Yo. Did you know that in the OG Mario, there's a built-in function, so that when you die and you get a game over, you don't start from the beginning?
I recently learned about that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Wait, what?
Well, when you lose all your lives in Mario, let's say you're in World 5, right?
Mhm.
You get game over, you start over, you go back to World 1.
Yeah.
But there's actually a function in game which is like a hold, select, and A or some shit like that, and you just
Yep.
restart level 5.
Yep.
The fuck? Why wasn't that in the goddamn manual? I didn't know. The manual explained to you how a fucking Goomba is born, but it doesn't tell you that.
Dude, that game, if you look into some of the speed running and what they do, that game is purely broken. There's so many ways that they manipulate the game in order to just to get around to beating the game in under 4 minutes, or about 4 minutes. I think that's where the record is at right now. It's 4 minutes.
Well,
Mario in 4 minutes. I thought it was done in 1.
Maybe that's a certain glitch where you can get it to the end, but I know like doing the glitch, like the regular glitch speed run, you can do it in about 4 minutes.
I'm gonna go ahead
You
and
have to
be
get-
closing off the
yeah.
stream for tonight. For everybody
What are
watching, I
what are
really
we playing
appreciate
Rocket
it.
League?
I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation. Joe, would you be so kind as to join us for the review of episode 7 when Ellie goes
That's
full
why
on
you beat it.
lesbo?
Guys, if you want me back, it's not a problem. I'm sorry. I promise I won't rant on about the end of the world and sharing with your neighbors. Oh, we will be talking about chemtrails next time.